So this week I decided to cover the story of Bigfoot. Um, he's perhaps the most famous cryptid of all time. And normally I like to do a story of post before I start posting stories and sightings of these creatures like Bigfoot. Um, it's been tough to track down one source for the first story. There are many opinions on where it all began, so I will try to summarize a few that I think may have started it all. At a later time, I will be posting sightings from around Appalachia because they seem to happen around here all the time. Leif Erikson and his men are thought to be the first European explorers of North America. During their first visit in 986 AD, they reported seeing something strange. Leif wrote of hairy men who towered above him and his men. These men were loud, foul-smelling, and lived in the woods. They had several encounters with the creatures, and they noted they were very different from the natives they found in the New World. Another interesting story I found happened in 1924. Albert Osterman, a lumberjack and outdoorsman, was asleep in his sleeping bag on a camping vacation in British Columbia when a Sasquatch picked him up and carried him for about 3 hours. He was taken to what seemed like a family of 4 creatures. Most reports say he was held captive for 6 days by the creatures. All that is known about Otzman's time with them is that he was fed some sort of sweet grass. Otzman was able to escape after he gave the largest creature some snuff, which it ate and caused it to get sick. On August 27th, 1958, near Bluff Creek, California, Jerry Crew arrived on a road construction site for work one morning and found tracks measuring a whopping 18 inches in length. He showed the prints to his co-workers, who referred to whatever was making the prints as Bigfoot, thus giving the creature its name. A month later, the prints were found and a plaster casting was made of one of them. And then you have the Patterson and Gimlin footage from 1967. This is the last one I'll cover this go round. On October 20th, 1967, Patterson and Gimlin were horseback riding around 1:15 in the afternoon. They went around a downed tree and noticed a figure crouching. It was a man-like creature. They observed it was about 7 foot 6 inches tall and covered with dark reddish brown or black hair. Thinking this was odd, Patterson dismounted his horse and took out his camera. Patterson started running towards it while filming, which explains the shaky footage. And at one point he tripped, which you can also see in the footage. The creature noticed the two and began walking away, but before disappearing, it looked back. The video is probably the one that started most of the hype surrounding Bigfoot, and it's how I first heard of him as a kid. And there you have it. There are some of the biggest stories that have encouraged Bigfoot fever. There are reports, pictures, and videos of sightings all over the U.S. these days. I have even seen several very near where I live. One day I might cover some of these. If you have ever had an encounter with Bigfoot and would like to share your story, please email me at webmaster@spookyappalachia.com. I would love to hear and share your stories here.